Think about this for a moment. How many times in your life have you decided that something was good or bad the instant it happened? You lose a job and immediately call it a disaster. You get an opportunity and label it success. Someone leaves your life and it feels like a tragedy. Something goes your way and you call it luck. We do this automatically, almost without thinking, as if life must explain itself to us right away. But what if this habit is quietly stealing your peace? What if the moment you judge an event, you are only seeing the very first frame of a much longer story? Human beings hate uncertainty. Silence makes us uncomfortable. Not knowing feels dangerous. So we rush to conclusions. We label, we judge, we decide long before we truly understand. The truth is, life does not reveal its meaning instantly. Meaning unfolds slowly, sometimes over months, sometimes over years. What looks like a loss today may turn out to be protection tomorrow. What feels like a blessing now may later reveal an unseen cost. Wisdom, then, is not about predicting the future or controlling outcomes. It is about learning to pause, to resist the urge to judge too quickly, and to understand that time, not emotion, is what ultimately explains the events of our lives. The farmer lived a quiet and simple life, shaped by routine and hard work. Every morning, he rose with the sun, walked into his fields, and relied on his horse to help him survive. The animal was not a luxury or a symbol of wealth. It was a necessity. Without it, the farmer's work would become slow, exhausting, and uncertain. In many ways, the horse represented stability in his life. One morning, that stability disappeared. When the farmer walked outside and saw the empty space where the horse should have been, there was no sound of hooves, no movement, no trace of it at all. During the night, the horse had escaped and vanished into the mountains. Word spread quickly through the village. By the afternoon, neighbors gathered around the farmer's home, shaking their heads in sympathy. They spoke with confidence, as if the meaning of the event was obvious. Losing the horse, they said, was terrible misfortune. It was the worst thing that could happen to a man who depended on his land. They imagined the hardship ahead of him and felt certain that life had turned against him. The farmer listened carefully to every word. He did not argue. He did not defend himself. He did not try to sound wise. When the villagers finished speaking and waited for his response, he simply nodded and said, "Let us wait and see." The answer confused them. To the villagers, the situation was clear. Something valuable was gone, and suffering would surely follow. But the farmer did not rush to label the moment. He understood that this was only one chapter in a story that had not yet finished writing itself. Days passed, and life slowly returned to its usual rhythm in the village. Then, without warning, something unexpected happened. Early one morning, the sound of hooves echoed across the fields. The farmer looked up and froze. His horse was coming back, but it was not alone. Behind it ran 5 strong wild horses, untamed and powerful, following it straight into the village. News spread faster than before. The villagers rushed over, their faces filled with amazement. The same people who had once spoken of disaster now spoke of fortune. They congratulated the farmer, calling him the luckiest man they had ever known. In a matter of days, his loss had turned into abundance. 1 horse had become 6. What was once seen as the beginning of hardship now looked like the beginning of wealth. To the villagers, the conclusion was obvious. Life had rewarded the farmer. Fate had corrected itself. This was clearly a happy ending. But the farmer did not share their excitement. He did not boast. He did not celebrate. He did not allow his emotions to rise with the praise around him. He simply stood there, calm and observant, and said the same words he had said before. "Let us wait and see." His response puzzled them once again. Why wouldn't he celebrate such good fortune? Why remain cautious when everything had clearly turned out well? Yet this moment holds an important lesson. Just because a situation improves does not mean the story is over. Just because something looks like success does not mean it carries no future cost. Life rarely reveals its full meaning in one moment. The farmer was not wiser because he could see the future. He was wiser because he accepted that he could not. While everyone around him reacted emotionally to every change, he remained steady. He did not let good fortune inflate his ego, and he did not allow hardship to destroy his inner peace. This balance was his true strength. Most people live at the mercy of their emotions. When things go well, they become careless. When things go wrong, they lose hope. But the farmer understood that both success and failure are temporary visitors. Neither deserves complete control over our minds. By staying calm, he protected something far more valuable than wealth or luck: clarity. This kind of wisdom is not loud. It does not announce itself. It shows up in patience, restraint, and the ability to pause before reacting. The farmer still worked, still cared for his family, still faced reality. But he refused to demand immediate answers from life. He trusted that time would reveal meaning in its own way. In our own lives, we often face moments that feel final. A failure, a loss, or an unexpected setback can make it seem as though everything is falling apart. In those moments, we rush to judge our situation, just as the villagers did. We tell ourselves that we have failed, that we are unlucky, or that life has turned against us. But the farmer's story reminds us that life is never only one moment. It is a long journey made of many connected chapters. What feels like an ending today may quietly be preparing a new beginning. A closed door can push us toward a better path. A painful experience can build strength we did not know we needed. The lesson is simple, but not easy to live by. Do not celebrate too soon when things go well, and do not despair too quickly when things go wrong. Stay patient, stay grounded, trust that time will reveal the meaning behind every chapter. Because life is not rushing to judge us, it is slowly teaching us. Results did not arrive the way Daniel expected. There was no sudden breakthrough, no dramatic reward for his discipline. Instead, life responded subtly, almost cautiously, as if testing whether his changes were real or temporary. Small things began to shift first. Conversations felt calmer. Decisions took less effort. Mistakes still happened, but they no longer spiraled into self-blame. What Daniel didn't realize at first was that cause and effect had never stopped working. It had only been delayed. For years, his scattered focus had produced scattered outcomes. His avoidance had quietly shaped the very problems he complained about. Now, with each intentional choice, the loop began to reverse. He noticed that when he respected his time, others did too. When he prepared instead of rushing, opportunities didn't feel overwhelming anymore. When he chose consistency over intensity, his confidence stopped fluctuating with external results. Nothing magical occurred, nothing accidental, just alignment. There were days when he slipped back into old habits. On those days, the feedback was immediate. Stress returned, clarity faded. The contrast became undeniable. For the first time, Daniel could clearly see the invisible thread connecting his inner choices to his outer reality. This awareness changed how he judged both success and failure. Wins were no longer proof of his worth. Losses were no longer personal attacks. They were information, signals, messages pointing him back toward balance. And this is where most people misunderstand karma. They imagine it as punishment or reward delivered by fate. But in truth, it operates more like a mirror. It reflects patterns, not intentions. It responds to repetition, not promises. Daniel understood then that wisdom is not about avoiding mistakes. It is about recognizing patterns early enough to change them. The moment he stopped blaming circumstances and started studying his own behavior, life became less hostile and more honest. The world had not changed, he had. And when that happens, the same actions begin to produce very different outcomes.